Hey, it's your girl Jess Bree coming at you with another video. Feel free to hit the like, share, subscribe. I want to give a shout out to a channel called We Need to Talk, the conversation between black men and black women. Um, Started by Kevin Samuels. Um, and this is a video entitled We Feel Irrelevant. So let's check it out, and I want to react to it. And you guys feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. All right, here we go. Okay, what's going on?
Hyundai Tucson versus Toyota RAV4. Hyundai Tucson wins every.
Maybe that's why men and women just don't work out. Black men and women.
Explain.
Cause you just said, cause we feel irrelevant.
This is actually a part two. She was in another video that I did do that I recorded, but I deleted it because I didn't like the way it came out. So I don't know if I'm gonna go back. I may not need to. I actually already watched this video, so I'm gonna rewatch it again and comment. Because I had a lot of thoughts. And so yeah, let's continue.
That's because you're trying to compete with us.
We're not trying to compete with y'all.
Listen, it's the message right here. Black boy, tell me how you really feel. Cause I just wanna build with you. Black girl, tell me how you really feel. I wanna keep it real with you. I wanna live better, eat.
um I just deleted a bunch of files, and I'm not sure if I uploaded the first conversation he had with her. If I did, I apologize for repeating myself. I just want to know who dressed her, because this is not at all appropriate for her body. And that's on a side note. But yeah, let's continue.
Better. I wanna love better, sleep better. Yeah, I wanna feel so aligned. Sublime.
Well, like I said, women need to work on things too. Like we do need to work on not listening to respond, but listening just to understand, and that's what I'm trying to work on myself. But sometimes I feel like a lot of the frustration and a lot of you guys not feeling like you can talk because I don't know. It's just y'all don't think like we do. You can never understand a woman.
Ma'am, it's called man, woman. It's called I mean, of course we don't think like each other. We're two different kinds of people. Ma'am?
Women's perspective of anything. You just sat here and said, oh, men have done this, men have done that. Like women haven't done anything. And that's the problem. That's why we talk over y'all, because we are always overlooked. Always. Men had to go to farms and men had to go to work, and okay, women had to bear children and be close to their death birthing the child. Do you know that's the closest thing to a woman's death is birthing a child? And cleaning up and cooking and just being emotionally there for when y'all do have to go to the fucking farm.
Now, I will say I agree that obviously birthing children is definitely the closest thing to death. Trust me, I've been there twice. I didn't almost die, thank God, but it's yeah. I mean, even with all the technology today, it's still um a lot of women that die at childbirth even today.
Or whatever you may have to work, quote unquote. Men don't even want to work these days. And we don't even talk about that. Not
Now, I don't know what men she's talking about, but the men I deal with, they all have had jobs and or careers. The firefighter was a part-time teacher as well. From the firefighter to the homicide detective to the construction worker to the UPS to the city bus driver um to the loan specialist. I don't know who y'all be dealing with, but I don't deal with bums. Sorry.
Not every, it's more women, I feel like, succeeding right now than it is men. I just feel like that because we've been set.
Um okay. Feelings are one thing, feelings and opinions are one and the same. If you don't really have stats to back it up, it's really kind of like it's really irrelevant. It's just an opinion. So you can feel all day long, ma'am.
Back for so long.
So there's so many things you said there. The first thing I want to say is I agree that men could do a better job acknowledging women's contributions. I think we often like trivialize what women bring to our lives, what women have brought to the world, and I think we could do a better job there. I do also think, as a consequence of a lot of different things, especially just nature, men understand women better than women understand men. And that's because in order for a man to get with a woman, whether he's looking for sex, relationship, whatever the case may be, he needs to have at least a working understanding of her psychology, what she wants, what she's looking for, what turns her on, the whole nine. Y'all don't really have to understand shit. If you're pretty, if you got long hair, big titties, a big ass, you really just have to like be there, and you will be approached. You don't, and that's why like I've seen like shows or
And that's true because for years I took my youth and my fairly good looks um for what's the word? For I took them for oh my god, I took them for granted. Oh my god. I took them for granted, and when it came to the men that I dated, I rarely considered their feelings. I rarely considered anything other than what would what they were going to do for me. Um so yeah, I can agree with that.
things where they do a social experiment with
I
women
was very
spitting game.
selfish.
It's
Very.
terrible. You've never had to. So it's like a muscle that's never been worked. You don't understand men's psychology. All you understand is he's gonna want to sleep with me, so I'm gonna exploit that.
Yep.
But you've never had to develop, going to my basketball analogy sometime, because you can dunk, you've never had to develop a crossover, you never had to develop a jump shot, you never had to learn the playbook, you don't come to practice. And that's how a lot of women are. So because of that, it's easy to trivialize some of the ways men are because you don't actually think about it. You don't think about what is at the foundation of boys, for instance, feeling like they can't express themselves, they can't cry, whatever the case may be. So I think women, especially nowadays, you have to go back to the drawing board because the kind of dudes y'all say you want, and to your last point, a lot of women want that dude. So how you gonna stand out?
A lot of women want what kind of dude?
The dude who is a good leader and he's successful and he's intelligent and all that good stuff that women want. But none of y'all at the same time, this is the part that blows my mind. None of y'all, number one, you don't want to compete for him. And number two, even when you get that dude, you pretend he's not. Because I'm getting complaints, not just from like I get complaints from the unemployed dudes who are like, you know what I'm saying, she don't submit to me and things like that.
That's the problem.
I understand that, and I'm with you on that. But I'm getting complaints from 1% dudes as well.
Unemployed dudes, what the hell? I mean, are they unemployed because because they just out on the street or chilling at home playing a game or something? Or did they really lose their job, got laid off? Like what? Like that's really out of context because ain't nobody submitting to a dude just, laying around doing nothing. So what are we talking about?
I'm getting complaints from niggas who make six figures, who lead multi-million-dollar companies, who are doing all
Because
the
they
right
want
things.
someone on their level.
No. I'm getting complaints that the woman still won't submit to me.
The high figure dude don't want somebody on his level. Shut up. He wants somebody that is going to support and be his piece, support him in his business and be peaceful. All this about being on the level and talking about this power couple bullshit. I mean, you could be a power couple on a smaller scale, but girl, shut up.
So it's like the woman isn't submitting to the broke dude because he's broke. She's not submitting to the rich dude because of another reason. She's not submitting to the emotional available dude for another reason. So it's like y'all don't want to submit under any circumstance.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. Because, okay, there may be some women who just don't want to submit regardless because they want to do their own thing. They want to make their own money. They want to, be independent. That is not me. I feel like if he's showing me things that I can submit to, like, just it could, submission is so different. Like, it could be different for everybody. Like, submission for me would be, maybe going to see somebody late at night and having to be tired for work in the morning, or
Girl. She's talking about a damn goddamn booty call. What the hell?
getting up and making breakfast for somebody, before they go to work. Submission could be a lot of things for different people, but I feel like if he's doing the right things and he's there for you emotionally, then yes, maybe you should submit a little bit. But but at the end of the day, that goes back to what I said before about women have been the underdog for so long. Like, I feel like this is us just wanting.
Ma'am, the underdog, how? If your family not there to support you or your girlfriends ain't there to, encourage you, I'm not understanding. The underdog, I mean, why? Because the white man ain't accepting? I don't understand. If your family, it's up to your family to validate you. I don't understand this whole this talking point, but okay.
To be heard finally. We don't have time to submit right now. We are trying to make more money than y'all. We're trying to.
Girl, we trying to make more money than y'all. What? Say what? What's going on here?
Make sure we're straight. We can't just depend on you guys fully. Like, you have to have that backup plan. Like, what if you're not there? Like, I think that gets in the way of submission too. Like, a lot of what ifs and like, what if I have to do this by myself? Or
So this is classic case, and I have it too. Operating out of fear. What if, what if, what if? Now, granted, I ain't gonna lie, I don't give a damn what Kevin Samuels was talking about. If I was to ever get married, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have some money stacked aside just for a rainy day or and people change and you kind of want to have something in place to where if things go awry, if they go awry, now I'm not gonna be sitting up here dwelling But I will have at least a good 5,000 just in the corner, just so I could be like, oh, okay, shit, I'm out. I can go get me an apartment, first class, and first and last security. Now that's the type of time I'm on. Now the rest of that stuff, I mean, she could. I don't really think she really understand the full extent of what she talking about with all this giggling. But yeah.
I need to know how to handle myself by myself without him, without needing him. So
So let me
But if you married, well, I mean, hell, you in a couple. You supposed to be, I mean, shit,
ask
what
you
the
this.
hell?
I'm not talking necessarily about you in particular, but women, black women in general. How's that working out?
what do you mean? How is it working
How's that
out? For
working
me,
out?
it's working out great because I don't have to deal with shit I don't want to deal with.
Do you get to deal with shit you want to deal with?
I get to deal with no shit at all and just be happy with myself.
But what does dealing with shit mean? Because if I'm in a relationship, like, is it not supposed? It's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's supposed to be easy, but the shit ain't supposed to be hard either. What the fuck are you dealing with? I mean, the shit ain't supposed to be that hard. That's all I'm saying. The fuck? She act
And
like she dealing. She got the deal. If you find somebody that is compatible and you know you not hard to get along with, he not hard to get along with, what the fuck is the problem? It's like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I mean, they had this volatile ass relationship. Like, bitch, I don't have time for that bullshit. That's that's half the reason why I was by myself any damn way. But I mean, I didn't come across dudes that were toxic or anything. I just Me and my crazy self, I was afraid. I was terrified of relationships and settling down in marriage. I was terrified. But I know damn well I wasn't gonna stay in no damn toxic shit.
doing my own thing.
So you want to be
Like,
alone.
that's not top.
And another thing. And another thing. My parents was married 16 years, bitch. And they didn't have to tolerate each other or deal with each other. They just were. They just were. I'm not saying it was perfect by any means. Um, they had a few disagreements or slight, slight disagreements. Wasn't all no verbal abuse, wasn't no yelling, screaming, and carrying on. They had a few handful of disagreements. I remember them fussing, yelling at each other, maybe two or three times in my life growing up. You understand? So they didn't have to deal with each other. They just were. They existed and they, dealt with things as they came. But they weren't toxic, so I don't get it. I don't know. It wasn't no fussing and carrying on like that. My dad went to work, came home. My mother went to work, came home. Shit, the kids went to school, came home. We ate dinner. They watched TV. What the fuck are you dealing with so much?
Tier for me, if that's what you're asking. Like, I'm not going out in the world trying to figure out how I can submit to a man. I think that's what y'all don't realize too. Like we have our own things we have going on, just like you guys
And that's
do.
exactly why, what, 80% out of wedlock, bitch? Exactly why. And me included. I'm guilty. But this whole attitude is why I just shake my head, because all is independent. You go your way and I go my way. Who does that really benefit in the long run? You may think you're doing something, but when you get to be in your 40s, your mid early 40s to late 40s, when you still ain't married, and these gas prices is $10 a goddamn gallon, bitch. You gonna be sitting there wishing. I mean, you gonna be sitting there wishing you would have submitted. We got the highest consumer debt rate, college loans. Like, what the fuck are you? I mean, really? Most of us are in debt up to our yin yangs. So you might as well get with somebody and share your damn debt and share your life, because you know, it's good to have aspirations. Go ahead, girl. But ultimately, it ain't leading to nothing but more debt and being by yourself when you could be with your man building something. And that's what she not understanding. My daughter ain't trying to hear that shit either. So, but y'all gonna figure it out in the long run. Hopefully it ain't too late.
It's not just about submitting all day.
I think that's a beautiful point, because that's a theory that I've had. I think as much as y'all complain, ain't no good men, I don't think y'all actually want one.
I
Nope.
don't think we're actually looking for one.
That's my point. I don't think y'all
It's
actually
not
want
that
one.
we don't want one. We desire to have someone to come home to and to talk to and to be.
Now, if this girl ain't contradicting herself, if she knew how ridiculous she sounded, the way she contradicting the hell out of herself.
There for us and to protect us, but
But you want none of the
we want that.
responsibility.
No, we want that. It's just that we don't have time for it because of the world and what
You
we're
ain't got
going through right
time.
now, and us being so
What
far
you
pushed
going
So
through?
behind.
if I said
What's she going through?
I want to make six figures, I want to have a nice office, but I don't want to work, do I really want a corporate job?
That's not the same thing.
It is the same thing, because you guys want the benefits of a good duty.
No.
Okay, explain to me.
I feel like that's like saying, okay, I want to make six figures. I want to do this, but I'm not going to have friends. I'm not going to go out on the weekend. I'm just going to strictly stick to
But
working
that's my
and
point.
doing.
That's my point. Like, things come with trade-offs. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want this, you have to give up that. Because you have to pick, what do you want more? Do you want to make six figures, or do you want to go out on the weekends? But people who go out on the weekends all the time typically don't make a lot of money.
And she's still talking about going out with friends and bullshit. Your friends gonna have you out there caught up. And then some of them may get married while you out there thinking y'all having fun. Next thing you know, your friend get wifed up. You be like, bitch, when did you when did your ass get engaged? Oh girl, I found me somebody. Now people starting to get married or booed up and shit. Now you're gonna rethink your life choices. Hopefully it ain't too late. Sorry for the smacking. I'm chewing a chocolate cookie. Sorry, y'all.
And people who make a lot of money typically don't have time to do bullshit. But they want that more than they want this.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, typically people that make more money don't have time for bullshit. So I say that.
Listen, I'm not against money, but girl, that's what you act like this is. I mean, is that what this is all about? Life is not all about money, honey. I don't know. The priorities just gotta be in line.
That because one little thing with women nowadays is I'm out. I don't have time to figure out if you're gonna fix the situation or if you're gonna get your life together right now or not. Like, I feel like if you approach me,
Fix what situation? And you ain't got time for what? If you in a marriage or a relationship, I would hope we talking about long-term relationship or marriage. What are you talking about? And he can't figure out the problem, then you just gonna leave. Girl, shut up.
you should know what you bring to the table.
She sounds stupid as
Like, I
hell.
feel like that needs to be eventually like a conversation. Like, what can we do for each other? If we can't, then maybe we should just not be dating or, date. And then I think dating is confusing for y'all. It's very confusing for y'all because just because I date you don't mean that I'm expecting to that I expect you to like protect me or like be there for me or anything
Well, what's all this shit about black men don't protect? That's the talk of the town.
like that. Like, I'm dating to figure out if you have those qualities. It doesn't mean we're gonna be together and I'm gonna submit to you like the next day. I'm not gonna cook you breakfast the next day. Just like you wouldn't pay my rent the next day. Or you wouldn't, pick up my son from school or whatever the fucking case may be. Like, it doesn't come overnight. Like, you have to figure each other out and even figure out if you want to submit, are you ready, and stuff like that. It don't just happen overnight.
So you don't go into dating with any expectations.
Yes, I do, but I don't go into it looking to submit to that man.
No, not.
Because
Submit,
it's supposed to
submission
be
on one
fun.
side.
It's supposed to be fun, first of all. Like, it shouldn't be like I am going into it looking for something, but I don't want anybody to
Ma'am, you are not dating with intentions, so cut the shit. Oh.
feel like, we have to get married after this first date or anything like that.
I'm not talking about that because you mentioned you don't expect him to protect you. You don't expect him to do.
Not on the first date. Nope.
Oh my god.
I don't.
So a man that you're out with, that you're spending time with, you feel like he has no obligation to you in any kind of way.
I feel like men don't protect women anyways.
It's not
So
true.
that's why I feel like that.
It's not true.
Ma'am, just because you pick back just because your poor choices in men brought you to that conclusion doesn't mean anything. That is called an anecdotal situation. I've had many men, my ex-boyfriend from my early 20s will fuck somebody up over me till this day. You understand? My cousin, who I held down when he was locked up, he got the pistol on ready. My god brother that passed away, he asked me did I want him to shoot my baby daddy one time. I'm like, nigga, you crazy. My son father, back in the day, I had a situation with the other baby father. He like, you want me to go talk to him? Like, no. So I don't even understand like what y'all be talking about. Don't even get me started with my dad, my grandfather, my uncles. Like, what does she talk? What? I hate this. I really hate this. I just want to smack her.
Y'all are the main ones that downgrade us.
Explain.
And let me also clarify. I don't know about nobody else in this whole United States, but baby, over here where I live, over here, all the bitches I know over here, like they got brothers, uncles, cousins, boyfriends, husbands, and they protects. Okay. I remember I was working with my one home girl. She was telling me a situation, and her brothers was, I think she had a situation with her ex-husband or something, and her brothers was on standby. Like, come on now. You go to any hood, USA. My daughter got goons. We all got goons. What is what is y'all talking about? I don't understand. We got goons.
Black men are the main people that put black women down. I know you hear it all the time. Black people, the main ones talking about black people all the time. And I say that because you don't hear a white dude talking about a black woman not submitting. You don't hear that. I mean, you don't see it on social media. You don't.
Yeah, that's because black white dudes don't deal with y'all on that level.
They do.
On that
Trust me,
level.
they do.
On that level, no.
They do.
Explain.
I'm a woman that has dealt with plenty of white men. So they don't.
So what do you think I'm saying when I say white men don't deal with you on that level?
I don't know. What do you mean when you say that?
I mean, white men will fuck you. But as far as walking you down the aisle, statistically, that's not happening. Nobody's marrying black women, statistically in large numbers. So that's what I'm telling you. I can't talk about every individual, so I have to look at big data. And on a big data scale, nobody's marrying black women. So like even this whole thing with Jack Harlow, he makes us feel protected and shit like that. Cool, he's gonna try to fuck you, but on a large scale, Jack Harlows are not trying to marry black women.
How do you know that?
I have a lot of data that I look at, and some of the data also shows me that the same things that black men complain about our women, white men complain about it too. They don't necessarily say it.
In the United States, that's what statistics say.
So when men, and the thing is, black men are actually looking out for y'all. Because again,
I don't think so.
Okay. Explain.
I don't think so. Because just listen to this conversation with you. Like, black men do not want y'all. I mean, just think how we have to. That's called something. Like, when somebody says something long enough to make you think that black men don't want us.
No, I didn't say that.
So, of course, we feel like we don't want y'all either.
But I didn't say that.
But you just said black men are not marrying black women. White men are not marrying.
Yeah.
Don't speak for me because I want you. I want the black man. Hell, and so my daughter, that's all she did is black men. So I don't know what the hell she talking about.
I said nobody's marrying black women.
Nobody is.
Because of you guys' behavior.
What kind of behavior?
Number one, you're disagreeable.
So we're supposed to agree to everything.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying?
Disagreeable means that you say no immediately. You're combative. You're belligerent. The bad attitude, the talking over people, the waiting just for your turn to respond as opposed to listening. These are things that are consistent. Then again, I've been privileged to talk to a lot of black women. And these
Now look at how she just sitting there processing that. Good for you, girl. Process it, girl.
things are consistent. So when we see the numbers playing out this way, it's not a surprise. Because to your point, and I don't think you realize what you said, black women are spending more energy trying to be men. Because what you said is you're trying to compete with us.
No, I didn't say we're trying to compete.
You didn't say those words.
I said we're trying to get on the same level.
That is competition.
That's not competition.
God. Why? Why? For what? The same level for what? Just do you. Whatever your career path is, get on it. And then, I mean, and at some point, try to get. If you want a family, have a family. But what the fuck is what is this?
Explain the difference.
I shouldn't have to work the same job as my male friend and get paid less. That's where I'm coming from. Like, I feel like we should get paid just as much as y'all. We should be treated with the same respect.
All right. On that note, I'm ending that because the wage gap is not a thing. It's not real. It's been debunked. It's based off of hours men work and types of jobs that they have. Women ain't trying to go out there and fucking work in the gold mines or in the oil mines and all those other kinds of hard jobs. And if you could prove that a man is making more than you as a woman, that's why they have legal aid and call the news station and have all your evidence together. Because at that point, if this was really the case, women would be suing left and right. Um, and they would really be a liability because you can sue. And then hell, I'd be calling and if I went to HR, take your ass to HR. If you got the proof of that, like you can't say that without proof. And if you working at a job that you know good and well that you started the same as another man, y'all make the same amount of money, work the same exact hours every day of the week, got the same exact schedule, you can't prove that. You don't know if that man picked up an extra 8-hour shift. Um, Shit, I used to work 70 hours a week sometimes. So hell, maybe I was making more than the man in my particular, field. But don't you think if I knew a man was making, and there are times when I found out what people were making, um, more than likely it was a woman. But if you don't negotiate in your profession, say you a doctor like my sister, and you get interviewed for 3 different hospitals, and they offer you a salary which is roughly, anywhere from around 200 to 300,000, and you got 3 different options and you take the highest bidder if that's what you want, or it may be, the second offer because the benefits outweigh the this and the that. So, it just depends. Um But women have a problem with negotiating and they have a problem with asking for a raise. Ma'am, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So shut up. And now I'm about to read the comments. So, um, so I said, can we deal with the hypothetical engagement to marriage and not this free for all where she doesn't have any sense of direction or just dating? Because if you're going to have the conversation about submission cooperation, that's dealing with a situation that's intentional, not all this. I'm not submitting to a man on the first date, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because when he brought up submission and cooperation and then she talk about going on the first date and she ain't submitting on the first date and blah, blah, blah. Girl, what? Nobody's talking about that. It's pointless. Um, and then I said some other stuff I'm not gonna get into. Sorry. So Lemuel says this lady here is a perfect example. She doesn't listen to the question. She's just ready to give an answer. She is a real modern day woman. Doesn't even realize, but I think she does. She doing a lot of capping. Jerome says she clearly said she was trying to make more money than men, but then turn around and says she's not trying to compete. This is a huge part of the issue. Another issue is the immediate generalization of what she felt men do, but when speaking about women, it moved from general to specifically about her. I love how my dude lets them explain. That's when the truth comes out. Amen. Because one thing that ignored me about Kevin, God bless his soul, God rest his dead, he needed to let these women get this shit out. Cause he used to cut them off and I used to get so frustrated. Because like, on Kendra's show, I mean, the shit that you hear is just mind blowing. And I knew how Kevin felt and what he had to say, but I needed to hear more of what these people are saying. But anyway, he's passed on, so we can't have him back. God said, he said, I know best. So we're gonna leave that alone. Um, this person said, I feel like we hear this all the time. Men have been dying for women since the beginning. What more retribute can we give to our women than our lives? Do you see all that from the first 13-year-old that did whatever he felt he could because you're the man now to the son husbands? I don't really know that. Shout out to this guy's patience. It's like it's the I feel like Olympics over and over again. Lazarus says she's really trying to justify why women constantly overtalk and disrespect men, yet is quick to invalidate the male experience as it pertains to women refusing to submit regardless of the man's circumstances. The reality is the only reason why women are going out of their way to make more money than us is to avoid having to submit to any man. Just from the conversation, it's clear that she sees any form of criticism as an attack on black women. Absolutely. Totally agree. Um, One thing about this gentleman, he is on point, facts, statistics, and data. Though Chaos is no longer with us, his brother is really carrying the torch. Yeah, to a degree, you know. Sometimes he let them carry on to the point of annoyance, but nevertheless, he lets them talk, which is a good thing, actually. This person said the portion of the conversation embodies the difficulty of having a normal conversation with the average woman. She had an opinion without actually knowing about the subject. When the host informed her of the truth, she was argumentative. She would giggle and laugh to cover up her lack of points. All the times she asked why wasn't to gain knowledge but to cover up for her lack of knowledge. Good catch. Then she would continue to argue because she needed to be right so badly. And at the end, when the truth became unassailable, she begrudgingly said the host was right with a sarcastic attitude. How is any man supposed to work with her in a relationship on much harder topics when she can't even have a mature discussion about the NBA, WNBA? Well, honey, she said she tired of having to deal with y'all men. She said, I got to deal. Ain't nobody trying to deal with y'all. Modern day present said, I love how the topic of submission comes up. A woman has to be shown certain qualities to submit to a man. What if men start saying that women need to show femininity before they can lead? This world we live in is a shit show. Oh God, my sinuses. Okay. I'll read a couple more. Casey King said, after watching all of these videos, including Kevin Samuels, I'm always so happy to come home to my loving wife, knowing that I do not have to deal with this. Deal is the operative word. She wants to just argue for argument's sake. She's fun to talk to, but no way she'd be relationship material. I lost the count of number of times she contradicted herself. Boy, oh boy, sounds like everybody is pretty much on the same page with this one, honey child. I was gonna see if I could find a woman, but it don't look like it. All right. On that note, I am going to end this video. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Slowly creeping up on the way to 1,000. Halfway there, almost halfway there. Let's get to 500, y'all. And on that note, I will see you in the next video. Bye.